Alright, how you doing? Welcome to Rapping Nature. I'm David, and on this channel I pay homage to nature and the ancients. Following my profound experiences in Egypt, I've been on a life-changing and spiritual quest. I explore megaliths, sacred landscapes, and the powerful connection between nature and the ancients. I hope you're able to join me on my journey and subscribe to Rapping Nature. Cheers! Kalanish is one of the most beautiful, complete and impressive megalithic complexes and landscapes on the planet. Set on the remote Isle of Lewis in Scotland, this ancient site has stood here for well over 4,000 years. This footage was taken over the course of 3 days and 5 visits between June 30th and July 2nd, 2025. Some believe it was a lunar observatory, others say it was a sacred place of ceremony, or even a temple of the mythical Hyperborea. But whatever its true purpose, what remains undeniable is the power of this place, carved into one of the oldest stones on earth. Join me as we walk in the footsteps of our ancient ancestors through this megalithic masterpiece. From the northern road to the mysterious outcrop known as Cnoc and Tursa, this is Callanish. If you enjoy this video and like to help my channel, then please like, comment and subscribe. Alright, how you doing? So I'm very happy and grateful to be at Callanish Stones here on the Isle of Lewis, the Outer Hebrides, Scotland. This is a truly beautiful, sacred, magical and ancient site and landscape. The Callanish Stones date from 2900 BC and it's a truly unique and beautiful site. It consists of a cruciform style stone circle which has these four rows or avenues, stone rows, the longest one being the north row, which approaches up to the stone circle. And the stone circle itself, there's 13 large standing stones which surround this cairn in the centre. The cairn is thought to have been added later, and there is a massive standing stone in the centre which looks like something you'd see in the Orkney Islands, so I assume it's the same builders from Orkney. And these stones are very interestingly made from Lewisian gneiss, which is one of the oldest rocks on the planet. It's up to 3 billion years old, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So no coincidence that these people have selected this stone. Super interesting to see the colours of this stone, the veins in the stone, and contains quartz as well. We have water sources nearby and no doubt underground water here. And the location, it's built on this elevated hilltop, so you can see it from the distance. It's quite a sight as you approach it in your car. You see these stones on this hilltop. They're like giants standing on this hilltop. It's absolutely amazing to see as you approach it. And also, which you also see from here, is Sleeping Beauty. So this hill in the distance, which looks like a woman lying down. And for me, again, that really truly, reaffirms my belief that these ancient people saw the earth as a living entity, as Mother Earth, Gaia. And it's thought this site aligns with the major lunar standstill, which occurs every 18.5 years. So really happy and very grateful to be here. So let's go for a wee wander, shall we? So this stone, right at the start of the north row here at Callanish, looks like a face, like an old man, a grandfather at the start of this processional path leading up to the stone circle. You can see the edge of the nose there. Curved nose and a head. Really interesting. This stone is like a guardian stone, I thought. Perhaps it marked the threshold to enter the sacred space ahead. So we'll take a walk up the north row, this avenue. Kalanish is this cruciform stone circle with rows on each of the cardinal points. This is the north row I'm standing on. There's around 50 stones in total here at Kalanish and 13 stones that form the stone circle. So let's take a walk up. I now have the whole site to myself. People come and go, but I'm still here. So let's take a walk up and we'll take a tour of the stones. As you arrive and start to walk up the northern avenue here, it became very clear to me that this was an ancient power centre. It's connected to the earth, sky and people. Standing amongst the stones, you have this wide, expansive landscape and vast open hemisphere of the sky. It's a feast of the senses and an energetic place, and clearly a place of great significance to our ancient ancestors. The northern avenue has 19 stones, 10 on the west, 9 on the east. They form a processional way believed to align with the 19-year lunar metonic cycle. Up to the 1800s, these stones were covered in peat. I think up to 5 feet of peat covered these stones, and they removed it around, I think it was 1857. And it's interesting walking up this north row, seeing the shapes of the stones and the different heights of the stones as well. Kalanish was protected and preserved for over 2 or 3 millennia by this build-up of peat, which covered the stones up to 5 feet and was removed in 1857. As we approach the central circle, it is truly beautiful, one of the most complete and best preserved in all of Britain. 13 standing stones encircling a massive monolith nearly 5 meters tall. Some say this represents the heart of the structure. There are no lintels like you have at Stonehenge. These beautiful Lewisian gneiss standing stones are between 2.5 meters and 3.5 meters high. This Lewisian gneiss is one of the oldest rocks on the planet, over 3 billion years old. These stones shimmer with crystalline life. The circle is 12.5 meters in diameter and has 13 stones. The 13 stones, this may represent the 13 full moons in a solar year. I was fascinated by the shapes of each of the stones, some perhaps more male than female, these human-like profile stones where perhaps each stone has a meaning. As you walk amongst these ancient stones, it's impossible not to feel their gravity, not just physical but mythological. Over 2,000 years ago, the Greek historian Diodorus wrote of a mysterious northern island, Hyperborea, a sacred land beyond the north wind. In 55 BC, Diodorus wrote, "There is also on the island a notable temple which is spherical in shape. The moon, as viewed from this island, appears but a little distance from the earth. The god visits the island every 19 years. The major lunar standstill occurs every 18.5 years, which is very close. Was this a temple known to the ancient Greeks who linked it with their god Apollo and the mysterious island known as Hyperborea?" So I'm now standing within the circle. This is incredible, this sacred, ancient, energetic space. It's beautiful. We have this cairn in the centre, which was perhaps added later. And behind me there, this incredible, this massive standing stone. Very much has Orkney vibes to it. So perhaps the same builders from Orkney. But what's going on here? Thousands and thousands of years ago. A place of great significance to our ancient ancestors. Built with massive intent. Chosen this location very, very specifically. It's on this elevated hilltop as you see it. When you drive up to it, it is literally like giants standing on this hill. This stone here is very interesting. And made with this Lewisian gneiss, this 3 billion year old rock. Again, no coincidence from the ancients. Chosen this type of stone with its crystalline and quartz properties, and we're very close to water as well, so no doubt some underground water here. Incredible. Try to really soak it all in when you come in here. I've actually now got the site to myself. People come and go. And then we have Sleeping Beauty in the background. You can quite see it from here. Again, reaffirms my belief that the ancients viewed the earth as a living entity. That has gone way beyond any doubt now. For me personally, their connection with the planet and Mother Earth, that is beyond question, and these are sacred, energetic monuments built in conjunction and partnership with nature. It's really good. It's amazing here. Beautiful, truly beautiful, iconic, ancient and sacred site, this Kalanish. Standing within this own circle, entering this sacred space, passing over the threshold from the stone rose into the stone circle itself, and we have this very impressive monolith, this large standing stone here, almost in the centre. It definitely feels like what you would see on the Orkney Islands. Standing stones, it's Cnoc, it's kind of a wee bit jagged at the top there, so it's got a bit of a Cnoc feel to it, so perhaps we maybe assume it's the same builders from Orkney. I don't know how long it would take to get here on a Neolithic boat, but perhaps 5 to 7 days maybe in those days. But you'd have to think this is perhaps the same builders from the Orkney Islands. So Kalanish is thought to align with the lunar standstill, which happens every 18.5 years. One amazing thing here is behind me here is this hill, which is called, they call it Sleeping Beauty. So you can see the form of a head, breasts, belly and knees almost, and during the lunar standstill the moon rolls over this hill. And again, this really reiterates my belief that the ancients, they viewed the earth as a living entity. I'm at the point where I don't doubt that for 1 second, based on all the different places I've been to. You can see some of my other videos, for instance, the Menga dolmen in southern Spain, the Antiquera dolmens. That's the king of dolmens, this gigantic dolmen which faces this lover's rock, which looks like a face pointing to the sky. So these ancient people, I firmly believe they viewed the planet as a living entity. And the one thing also that strikes me is with this Callanish stone circle and the stone rose that from above perhaps looks like a body. So you have the rose on either side, east-west, north-south, and then the body of the stone circle itself. This is the south row. 5 stones of the south row which point towards Cnoc and Tursa, which we'll come to soon. And also, as we'll see shortly in the background, the hills in the background called Sleeping Beauty. There's all sorts of legend associated with the Callanish stones. One is giants, as often they come into folklore and legend, that these were giants that were petrified to stone for not converting to Christianity. Giants comes up with the ring of Brodgar and Orkney as well. One is of a white magical cow which offered milk during the famine. And then the other really interesting one is it's known as the Shining One. This magical mystical figure appeared walking up the north row and was preceded by the sound of a cuckoo. So it's really interesting hearing about the different folklore and legends associated with Kalanish. So Callanish stones in the Isle of Lewis, this is certainly not a isolated megalith, not in terms of location, but I mean in terms of the number of megaliths. So there's a whole series of other megaliths, stone circles on the Isle of Lewis, which I'll show you, and I'll visit as many as I can. But this is just incredible. I love seeing the colours of these stones. This Lewisian nice 3 billion year old rock, just incredible. Puts things into perspective when you think about it. This 3 billion year old rock and this ancient site, thought to date from 2900 BC, if it's not older than that. This is the west row. These rows were thought to be erected after the main circle. 5 rows from the main circle makes Kalanish very unique. So what was the purpose of Callanish stones? We don't know. Ceremonial, ritual site. My sense, and I've shared videos on this before, is that stone circles for me were to create a healing water. Built above underground water, clearly there's water sources here, we love rock, but built above underground water using stones which contain quartz, and the stones are almost like giant batteries connected with the telluric currents underneath the earth. That's my sense and feeling when it comes to stone circles. And stone circles, again, these ancient sites are built with spatial intelligence. So a stone circle for me is almost like it's like a cauldron which contains energy. The energy swirling around within that space. And perhaps with these stone rows, the stone rows are manipulating or channeling the energy towards the centre of the stone circle. This diamond stone on the left here kind of reminds me a wee bit of the stones at Avebury, perhaps. And the stone rows here are very interesting. Makes you think a wee bit about Avebury, West Kennet Avenue, leading towards the main Avebury stone circle. Perhaps the stone circle was the first part of the site which was built, and then they've added the stone rows and then the cairn in the centre later, perhaps. This is the east row, which has 5 standing stones. This landscape is amazing. It's a remote, moody and dramatic and windswept landscape. One thing I always do when I go to megaliths and ancient sites is to imagine that prehistoric landscape, and this is a landscape which hasn't changed for millennia, really putting yourself in the perspective of the ancients, what would it have been like to be here thousands of years ago. Perhaps the climate would have been different. I think it might have been warmer perhaps, but in terms of the land, it hasn't changed. This landscape hasn't changed, and again we've got the Sleeping Beauty behind me there, so they would have revered this landscape. They were connected with the land. For me, they saw it as a living entity, Mother Earth, Gaia. It's just incredible to be here, paying reverence, respect to our ancient ancestors here on the Isle of Lewis. Within the centre of the circle lies the chambered cairn. The cairn was discovered in 1857 when the peat was removed. It's a small burial cairn surrounded by a circular kerb and containing 2 roofless compartments and a short passage. Archaeologists believe it was added sometime after the standing stones were already in place. So the Callanish stones are not isolated. There's many megaliths across the Isle of Lewis and Harris, and many stone circles. I think there's at least a dozen known stone circles on the Isle of Lewis, and nearby, within walking distance, you've got Kalanish. This is Kalanish 1, you've got Kalanish 2, 3 and 4, all kind of separate stone circles, isolated, remote, but my feeling is they're all unified and connected. This is the south row. There are 5 stones on the south row, and it points towards Cnoc and Tursa. Cnoc and Tursa, in Gaelic, the meaning is hill of sorrow. Though outside the boundary wall, it aligns with the southern row and seems like an intentional part of the complex. And I believe these natural rock formations would have been a key component when deciding the location of Kalanish. So at the top end of the South Row Avenue, the Callanish one, we have an outcrop, a series of stones. You can see that face right behind me there. These stones are known as Cnoc and Tursa, and it's like it's almost like a wee kind of cave setting or dwelling there, and it's almost like also like a platform. We'll walk around the back in a second. Like a platform, perhaps as a viewing point to the Callanish stones. But I absolutely love seeing this facing stone behind me here. Big smiley face there, the nose and the eyes. And also I've just spotted one of the stones here. That to me, as you can see the shape of a nose, mouth and eye. Some sort of animal, perhaps like a turtle maybe. I always think that these natural rock formations were the prototype megaliths, so these stones were the first megaliths, so these caves, wee nooks and crannies, these stones with a piezoelectric effect, so perhaps these stones, these stones, natural formations here, perhaps this was a prototype megalith, or it led to their decision to build the stones here.
Below the face of the stone, you can take a wee seat in this cave-like dwelling. Perhaps someone sat here when Kalanish was functional.
So here at Callanish 1, from the south row, you can see it behind us here, there is this elevated kind of wee hill or mound which is enclosed, surrounded by kind of stones on either side, and we have behind me this outcrop, this really interesting outcrop, Cnoc and Tursa, with the face and stone. And one of the stones looks like an animal, almost, I don't know, like a turtle or something. And interestingly, for me, that face is pointing towards the stones themselves, and the stone, which looks like a turtle almost, is kind of pointing towards the water. And for me, this, I don't know, this feels like some sort of viewing platform. I know a lot of people, when they come to Kalanish, they walk up the hill from the north row towards the stone circle, which is a kind of natural thing to do. But this spot here, it's kind of almost like some sort of platform, I feel, to view Kalanish itself. And I believe the ancients viewed the earth as a living entity. And behind us here we have Sleeping Beauty, so this hill where the moon rolls over the hills over during the lunar standstill, but you have the shape of a woman with the head, the chest, the kind of the belly almost, and knees again. So that reaffirms my belief the ancients viewed the earth as a living entity. But this feels like some sort of platform almost to perhaps view Kalanish when it was activated, when everything was lined up, and with this Cnoc and Tursa, these feel like kind of prototype megaliths almost. So perhaps the location of this raised location of Callanish was based on these stones, the water, but also with Sleeping Beauty. This definitely feels a significant part of the function of Callanish.
On this elevated mound behind Cnoc and Tursa, we can view Callanish 1, and as you can see here, we can see Callanish 2 in the distance. There are 5 stones still standing at Callanish 2. There's a wee path you can take from Callanish 2 to 3, and we'll see Callanish 3 here. There's 4 stones that stand within the ring, and 8 stones stand in the outer ring, with 5 fallen. This is the perfect place to see the stones and the surrounding landscape.
So during my trip to Isla Lewis, end of June, early July 2025, over the course of 3 full-on days of megalith hunting, I came to Callanish 1, the standing stones here, 5 times. So I made the most of it, and it's around 7:30 at night, and we've got some beautiful blue skies here. And every time I come here, you kind of see and feel and experience something different, really connected and exposed with the elements, different colours and lights. It's a real sensory experience when you come to the Callanish Standing Stones here on the Isle of Lewis. So my sense and feeling being here at the Callanish Standing Stones, it was to be viewed from the south row of the Standing Stones, the Callanish Standing Stones. From this side, we have this almost like an elevated mound with outcrops of stones on either side, which then leads to Cnoc and Tursa, the very mysterious looking outcrop of stones, one with a face and one that looks like a turtle. And this elevated mound has a central space right behind me there, and on either side it's a wee bit elevated with these stones, so it almost feels like this is some sort of place. There's a functional space to this part of the Callanish Standing Stones. So I'm going to take a walk from here, walk to the outcrop Cnoc and Tursa, and then walk to the stones themselves, as I think that was the way it was supposed to be viewed when the site was functional or activated. And I think I've almost got the whole place to myself. So let's walk back in time. Let's, as I always come, with respect and reverence. So we'll walk in the footsteps of our ancient ancestors at Callanish Standing Stones in the Isle of Lewis. This is an incredible ancient power centre left by the ancients.
Kalanish feels like a layered megalithic site. It unites the major megalithic forms. You have the natural formations here of Cnoc and Tursa, this primordial earth energy, like a prototype megalith. You then have this massive standing stone within the circle, a lone sentinel, a marker, a conductor, planted deep into the earth like an antenna, penetrating the earth, connecting sky and stone, a connection between Mother Earth and Sky Father. And then you have the circle itself, which I always describe as like a cauldron of energy. It's a place of resonance, alignment, and balance. There are then the 5 stone rows. Perhaps these were built to channel or lead energy towards the circle itself. Then finally, we have the cairn in the center of the circle. This for me is, like a dolmen, a womb of stone, sheltered, enclosed. These chambers contained energy, perhaps, held stillness of birth, death, and transformation. Here at Callanish, these people, they've wove it all together. All the megalithic forms converge here. The natural rock outcrop, Cnoc and Tursa, this massive lone standing stone like a cosmic antenna, drawing energy. The circle itself, holding that energy like a cauldron. The stone rows, for me, like channeling that energy towards the circle. And then the cairn, like a containment chamber almost, focused on transformation or rebirth. These people didn't just build one monument, they built a unified system. Callanish stands as an ancient power centre, connected to the earth, sky, and people. The Callanish Standing Stones, this is a truly beautiful megalithic masterpiece. It's an incredible landscape, and I hope this video was able to give you a wee bit of sense for it. If you have a look at my Scotland playlist, you'll be able to see other sites I've visited on the Isle of Lewis and Harris, and also my Orkney playlist. If you enjoyed this video, then please give us a wee like, comment and subscribe to Rep in Nature. It'll really support the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts of Callanish, or perhaps you've got personal experiences of coming to Callanish or other ancient sites. I'd love to hear them.
So there we go. Callanish Stones here on the Isle of Lewis, the Outer Hebrides in Scotland. This is a must-see. This is an incredible ancient monument left by our ancient ancestors. It's thought to date from 2900 BC and really unique, this striking cruciform stone circle with the stone circle, the very, very large standing stone monolith in the centre there with a cairn and these stone rows facing the cardinal points, the main stone row being north, then heading to south. The stone circle itself, there's 13 stones with the large standing stone, and I think there's around 50 stones in total. So clearly this was a place of great significance, built with massive intent, built with incredibly old stones, up to 3 billion years old, these Lewisian gneiss stones. That's no coincidence that these ancient people have selected these stones, selected this location and this dramatic landscape, this moody, windswept, remote landscape facing this hill. Sleeping Beauty, again, for me, that is very telling that they viewed the earth as a living entity, so it's all connected. So perhaps the location was based on the position of Sleeping Beauty, and it's thought with the lunar standstill occurring every 18.5 years in terms of the location. I also found these outcrop of stones behind the south row really interesting, especially seeing that face in the stone there. So that was amazing. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned, I'm going to be sharing more videos from my time on the Isle of Lewis. Alright, nice one. Cheers.